Cubs need pitching. That's an obvious thing, whether it's starters or relievers. They lost Marcus Stroman, who opted out of his contract, and they haven't replaced him yet in the starting rotation. But he was hurt for the second half of the season last year, except at the very end. So maybe they feel like they can make it without him. I don't feel like that's the case. We're going to talk about that on today's show. Hey, thank you guys for hanging out here at the Cubs Baseball Channel. Make sure that you know that you have your option to join us. Really easy to do. Like and subscribe, hit the thumbs up. Love the comments, by the way, too. I enjoy reading those. It's so much fun to talk baseball with you guys. Let's get this thing started. Go Cubs. Hardy, what do you say, everybody? Hope you're doing well. I'm Mick Gillespie at the, at Broadcaster Mick on the socials, right? And you're at the Cubs Baseball Channel right now. So, again, make sure that you like and subscribe. Things are slow. A lot of slow, developments as far as free agency goes. And we're in the baseball off season. It's hot stove season. Guys, keep sending me requests on shows that you want me to do. These are my opinions on prospects. I'm not the be-all, end-all, but I can give you some insight on different players, and we'll figure out together what those guys mean and what they bring to the table. And sometimes I'm right, and sometimes I'm not. I mean, it's not analytics. There's no way of being able to figure out what someone's going to do in the future. You can only take the information that you have and just try to put that together, but no one's always right. And sometimes, you don't expect a guy to be as good as they are. And sometimes you expect a guy to be really good and they're not. Some of you guys have asked me about Ed Howard. From the beginning, I wasn't really enamored about the Cubs drafting him so high. It just kind of felt like we wanted it to be this Disney story, being that he was from Chicagoland and he was in the Little League World Series and everything else. But he had a bad injury. Before that, he was struggling to hit. Now, part of struggling to hit, too, was that when you're a high prospect and they push you up through the system, you're going to be overmatched as you kind of progress. But the bat, it's got to come a long way. He's got to overcome his injury. And I hope all of those things happen. But he still has some really big obstacles to climb to get to the point where we would even talk about him being someone that you would see in a major league uniform with the Cubs. So we'll be watching that. And obviously, we'd love to see that Disney movie come true. Okay. All right, let's talk about a couple of pitching options that the Cubs could possibly be linked to. I'm going to start with Josh Hader. Now, are the Cubs a team that needs a $100 million closer? When Adbert Alzolay was healthy, he was honestly as good as you could ask for. I mean, he was saving game after game after game. And then at the end of the season, he was hurt. How bad is that? Is that going to follow him into 2024? And then if he's not there, who do the Cubs get as a closer? Josh Hader, been a fan of him for a long, long time. When he was a Brewers minor leaguer, right away I saw the Frisbees that he throws, and I said, this guy's going to be big. And I couldn't believe that Houston and Baltimore both traded him. But I guess, when you're trying to win and you make deals, you give up talent, and then they both did. Now, he's a free agent. And he's asking for a lot of money. I feel like the teams who are more realistic for him, in my mind, would be, if I was Philadelphia, I'd go and pay him the money. The reason that they didn't win last year was because their closer didn't get the job done down the stretch. And you know him, and I know him, Craig Kimbrell. This guy, Josh Hader, is the kind of guy that could get you over the hump, right? Texas. They have a team that just won the World Series. They have money to spend. They've been linked to a possible Josh Hader. But $100 million for a closer is just a lot of money. And I don't know that the Cubs, that's really where they are right now. They need a starter, maybe two starters. And obviously, we're watching Cody Bellinger every single day to see if they end up, figuring out a way to sign him. Now, the other guy I wanted to talk about was Trevor Bauer. And I know that Trevor Bauer has been controversial, right? Before he got kicked out of baseball and suspended, just definitely known for having a unique, maybe even an odd personality. But then what happened to him was fraud. I mean, he was accused of stuff that he didn't do, and he proved that. And it took him a lot to prove that. Major League Baseball claimed that they did an investigation and he was guilty. But when it was all said and done, he wasn't guilty. He was actually innocent. And he's over in Japan right now, and he's been fantastic. And I read on his Twitter kind of an ominous tweet a couple of days ago where it really sounds like, and he kind of spoke in third person almost, but that he might be blackballed from baseball. I mean, it's just put it like that. And you can go to his Twitter and check it out. I honestly feel like that's unfortunate. And we'll see what happens on that front. But the Cubs could use him. I mean, the guy was part of Cleveland's runner-up team in 2016. He was, really good, got a big contract with the Dodgers before all of this stuff happened, before he was framed. And then, now he's over in Japan getting the job done. Is he a guy who, walks on the same, to the same beat as most people? No, but that doesn't mean that he's a bad person. We don't really know him. We just know that what was said to he had been accused of in LA wasn't true. And he proved that. He proved that through court, and then he proved that through video, and you can go watch that as well. So some of you guys have brought him up, and I've been all about that because the Cubs right now are looking for starting pitching options, but I just couldn't figure out, why am I not hearing his name? And then I saw that. So eventually he could sue Major League Baseball, and it could be a really, really ugly lawsuit. So we'll kind of keep an eye on that as well. But when you're talking about options and what you could possibly do if you were the Cubs to get better, starting pitching wise, or any of the other teams, Trevor Bauer would certainly be someone that I would consider a good option. All right, guys, that does it for us today. A couple things I do want to tell you about, though. Now that you got all that cash in your pocket from the holidays, swing over to the Smokies Baseball team store, smokiesbaseball.com/store. They've got the Collector's Corner, which is their baseball card store with autographed cards of some of the Cubs' top prospects. They've got Cubs gear. They've got Smokies gear. They won their first championship in 45 years. They've got, game used jerseys and bats and all of that stuff. And it's at minor league prices, which is very affordable. So go find out for yourself and check it out. Thanks for hanging out with us. And let's do it again tomorrow. Go Cubs.